Welcome to Vantage with AI. Baidu has officially stepped into the image generation space with their first model, ERNIE-Image. If you've been following the ERNIE lineup, you already know they've been actively pushing into reasoning and vision AI. This is their first move into image generation, and it's entering a market that's already competitive. Now here's the smart part. Even before the public release, they made sure the model was already supported in tools like ComfyUI and diffusers. That means we can jump straight in and start testing without waiting for the ecosystem to catch up. ERNIE-Image is a text-to-image model. It is built on a single-stream diffusion transformer and paired with a lightweight prompt enhancer that expands brief user inputs into richer structured descriptions. With only 8B parameters, it uses a Flux VAE for decoding and a Ministral 3.3B text encoder. Baidu has released two variants, the standard ERNIE-Image base model and ERNIE-Image Turbo, a distilled version that can generate results in as little as 8 steps and CFG1 for a faster generation. So let's dive in, set it up inside a ComfyUI workflow. Now let's go over the models you'll need for this workflow. First, you'll need to download the ERNIE-Image model itself. You can choose between the ERNIE-Image base version or the ERNIE-Image Turbo version if you want faster image generation. Both variants are available in BF16 as well as quantized GGUF formats, so you can pick based on your hardware. In addition to that, you'll also need the Ministral 3.3B clip text encoder along with the Flux VAE for decoding. To make things easier, all the download links are already included directly inside the workflow, so you can access them right there. I've also added all the links in the video description below for quick access. And while you're down there, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. It really helps support the channel and allows me to keep bringing more AI workflows and tutorials like this. Now let's walk through the different sections of the workflow. First, we have the models section. This is where we load all the required components, including the main model, the text encoder, and the VAE. Next is the controls section. This is where you define the output settings like image width and height, along with the steps and CFG values for both the base and turbo models. You could also choose the model format, save tensors or GGUF, by simply toggling the option. And right here, you can decide whether to use a manual prompt or enable the prompt enhancer. If you want full control, keep it disabled and write your own prompt, or turn it on to generate a more detailed, descriptive prompt that the model can understand better. You also have a toggle to switch between the base and turbo models. When enabled, the workflow automatically sets optimal values for the base model, 20 steps and a CFG of 4. When disabled, it switches to the distilled turbo setup with 8 steps and a CFG of 1 for faster generation. Next is the prompt section. This is where you write your prompt describing the image you want to generate. And finally, we have the sampler section. This is where the denoising process takes place, and once that completes, your final image is generated. For testing this model, we'll use the same prompt we previously used for Qwen Image 2512. Now, I won't be doing a direct comparison with models like Qwen or Flux in this video. We'll save that for a dedicated comparison later. So for our first test, we'll keep things simple and start with this prompt. A realistic photographic portrait of a young woman, natural skin texture with subtle imperfections, accurate facial proportions, realistic age appearance, soft natural lighting, shallow depth of field, high detail, photorealistic, no stylization, no artificial look. Let's run it. Alright, here's the result from our first test. Overall, this is a solid photorealistic output. The skin texture looks natural with subtle imperfections, and the facial proportions are well balanced and accurate. Lighting is soft and believable, and the shallow depth of field is handled nicely, keeping the focus on the subject. The overall look is clean and natural, and it follows the prompt quite closely without drifting into any artificial or over-stylized appearance. Let's move on to the next test. In this test, we're going to specifically focus on how well the model handles aged facial features, things like wrinkles, skin texture, facial softness, and overall age accuracy. To really push this, I'm using a prompt that includes elderly subjects, natural expressions, and a realistic everyday environment. This helps us see not just facial detail, but also how well the model understands age in context. Here's the prompt used for this test. An elderly white American couple in their 70s in a clean, organized home kitchen. The woman has a kind face and a warm smile, wearing a patterned apron. The man with beard stands behind her, also smiling as they both gaze at a steaming pot of broth on the stove. The kitchen is bright and tidy, exuding warmth and harmony. The scene is captured with a wide-angle lens to fully show the subjects and their surroundings. Let's run it. Alright, here's the result from our second test. This is a strong result, especially when it comes to handling age. The facial features look appropriate for the age range. You can see natural wrinkles, softer skin structure, and overall believable aging without the faces looking overly smooth or artificial. Expressions feel natural and warm, which fits the prompt well, and the interaction between the two subjects adds to the realism. The environment is also well handled. The kitchen looks clean, bright, and lived in, and the lighting feels soft and natural. The wide-angle composition is respected, with both the subjects and surroundings clearly visible. Let's move on to the next test. For our next test, we'll focus on how well the model handles finer natural details, things like water flow, greenery density, moisture in the air, and subtle atmospheric effects. Here's the prompt we'll be using. A cold alpine landscape at dawn. A narrow mountain stream flows gently across smooth granite rocks, with thin sheets of water catching the early light. Sparse evergreen trees and low alpine shrubs line the stream banks, lightly dusted with morning dew. Soft mist rises from the water surface as the air warms, with pale golden sunlight illuminating the scene under a clear sky. Ultra-detailed natural textures, realistic water flow, lifelike vegetation, photorealistic, no people, no structures, no text. Let's run it. Alright, here's the result from our third test. This is a strong output. The model handles natural details quite well. The water flow looks realistic, with proper reflections and movement across the rocks. The mist rising from the stream is subtle but convincing, adding a nice atmospheric layer. Vegetation density and variation also feel natural. The evergreen trees and shrubs are well distributed, and the slight frost or dew effect fits the cold alpine setting nicely. Lighting is another highlight here. The soft golden light at dawn is captured well, and it interacts naturally with the mist and landscape. For our next test, we'll see how well the model performs with animals and wildlife, especially when it comes to fine fur detail, surface texture, and natural expression. Here's the prompt we'll be using. An ultra-realistic close-up of a snow leopard resting on a rocky ledge in soft natural daylight. The thick fur is highly detailed, with individual strands clearly visible, transitioning naturally from pale gray to cream with dark rosette patterns. Subtle wind lifts portions of the fur, revealing dense undercoat beneath longer guard hairs. Eyes are sharp and alert with realistic reflections. Whiskers are fine and naturally curved. The nose is slightly moist with delicate highlights. Background is softly blurred mountain terrain to emphasize the animal's texture and presence. Photorealistic, no stylization. Let's run it. Alright, here's the result from this test. This is a very strong output. The fur detail is handled really well. You can see clear variation in texture, with both the softer undercoat and the longer guard hairs coming through naturally. The patterning is accurate, and the transitions in color look realistic. The eyes are sharp with good reflections, and the whiskers are clean and naturally shaped. The nose also has that slight moist look with subtle highlights, which adds to the realism. The background separation is done nicely with a soft blur, keeping the focus on the subject without looking artificial. For this final test, we're going to focus on text quality and layout, specifically for poster-style generations. To really stress test this, I'm using a very text-heavy movie poster prompt with multiple names, awards, logos, taglines, and fine print credits. This kind of layout usually exposes weaknesses very quickly. Here's the prompt we'll be using. A movie poster for the fictional English language film, The Shape of Forever. The scene is set in a rustic 19th century garden. In the center of the image, a middle-aged man, played by Bruce Willis, stands behind a wooden table, wearing a white shirt, black waistcoat, watching a woman while grilling a steak on an outdoor grill. To his right, a dark-haired woman with a high bun, played by Demi Moore, leans against the table, smiling gently at him. She wears a light-colored shirt and a long white and blue skirt. Besides the grill with chopped onions and cabbage, there's a white ceramic plate, fresh herbs, and a bunch of black olives on a wooden crate to the left. The background is a serene green garden with trees and flower beds. The poster contains a large amount of text. The top left corner features the words Vantage Films presents in white sans serif font, below which are Demi Moore's an Academy Award winner. The top right corner reads Bruce Willis and Golden Globe Award winner. At the top center is the Sundance Film Festival Laurel Wreath logo, below which reads Sundance Film Festival Grand Jury Prize 2025. The main title, The Shape of Forever, is prominently displayed in large white serif font in the lower half. Below the title is A Film by Vantage with AI. The bottom area lists the full cast and crew in small white text, including Screenplay by Francis Ford Coppola, directed by James Cameron, and logos of numerous production companies such as Artisan Films, Riverstone Pictures. The overall style is realistic, employing a warm and soft lighting scheme to create an intimate atmosphere. The color palette is dominated by earth tones such as brown, beige, and soft green. Both actors' bodies are severed at the waist. Let's run it. Alright, here's the result from this final test. Visually, the composition is quite strong. The scene follows the prompt well. The setting, lighting, and overall tone match the intended warm cinematic poster style. The subjects, props, and environment are all placed correctly, and it does feel like a believable movie poster at first glance. Now, coming to text, which is the main focus of this test. The model does a decent job with large, prominent text. The main title is clear, readable, and well-styled. The actor names and top text placement are also mostly correct and legible. However, things start to break down with smaller and denser text. The fine print credits at the bottom are largely distorted and not properly readable, and some of the text appears garbled or nonsensical. Logos and detailed typography elements are also approximated rather than accurately rendered. Alright, that's going to wrap up this video. As always, the real value depends on how it fits into your workflow, so I'd recommend experimenting with both the base and turbo versions to see what works best for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to Vantage with AI and hit the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming workflows and model breakdowns. Drop a comment below and let me know what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.